shut it off.
All right, here we go.
We're gonna give them full court towers first.
A 3,
We're not
2. Cindy Riley, what's up? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Our first live episode. Welcome, you guys. Gen X, are we adults yet? Thank you guys for tuning in. We have a few folks already in the queue. I sound like fancy people from across the water. We're already in the queue. Nice. Here we go.
There it is.
Cindy, we are live.
There's a little bit of a delay before you. I see.
All right.
Good.
So Gen X, are we adults yet? Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys are watching this live and you guys are going to join us live, thank you guys so much for jumping in. Greatly appreciate everybody who has taken their time to spend with us over here on your favorite podcast.
Live.
We are live.
Yeah,
so
bro.
The regular intro.
Groundbreaking.
Here we go.
Gen
Ready?
Xers going live.
3, 2, 1.
Hi,
I'm Jason.
And I'm Greg. We are Gen X.
And welcome
to our podcast.
Bienvenidos al
We're the
podcast.
last generation to grow up without internet.
Once again, we'd like to give a shout out to all of our listeners, all of our viewers, and all of our people
We watch cartoons on
And the live
Saturday
people
mornings.
who are catching us.
We didn't have cell phones in our pockets.
who are catching us live here tonight, and those of you who will catch this later after the live has ended, because YouTube will keep this alive and will become one of our regular videos. So thank you guys. Shout out to our Monday crew, all of those guys who tune in each and every Monday to catch the latest, crispiest, freshest episode that we drop Sunday night each week for like 137 weeks now.
After the live, do we get to hold this back until we can launch it on Monday, or is this immediately going to be available and we got to do another one?
It's going right now.
It's going right now.
It's going right.
But if you don't catch the live, then you have to wait until
I
Monday?
can make it private and then just unprivate it on Monday.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of launch. You got to earn it. You got to be here for the live if you want to see it on Thursday night. Because this is when we record.
We could just do live and just relaunch on Sunday. The crispy shit. The crispiest. Anyways.
We look a little bit ghosty.
We do.
If you look on the...
I like
if you
the
look,
background.
is it really? It
Yeah,
looks,
I like it. It looks like you're Howard Stern or something.
I got the building coming through my chest.
Yeah, it's like
like
we're...
So what if I kind of turned it off?
we could just be...
How's that?
yeah, just turn off the lights in the background so that we don't have... You can't see the city. Let's put the shades down.
There we go. Chest.
I
I'm watching it on the monitor. There's a 10-second delay.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's like 8 to 10
How
second
you look
delay
at
or something.
the
There it goes.
You're in the garage.
Yes, there we go. All right. So you guys clicked on the title, and this is our first live episode, but what I'd like to focus on first and foremost and mostly is our special guest this week, Sabrina. You guys can find her. She's linked in the post we have on Facebook and on YouTube. You can find her Facebook. She is a real person. I know her personally. We met a few years ago at work. And what I can tell you is that her story is accurate. It is real. It's not fabricated. So I'll stamp that. I'll put my name on that. This stuff is accurate. It's not embellished or made up in any way, shape, or form. So that's kind of why, we wanted her to have her on the show. She reached out. She's willing to share her story. She wants to talk about it. She'll talk about wanting to talk about it here throughout the episode, but trust and believe this is better. This makes it, easier. And what is uncomfortable or as taboo as it may be to talk about death or what it's like to know when kind of that you are going to die. She wants to talk about it. She's an open book. So we're going to fire off some questions here. We'll kind of get into her story. And, you guys hit us up on the chat. And if there's anything you want to know, like right then and there, hit us on the chat. We'll stop. We'll answer those questions. If you guys want to, shoot her a prayer, shoot her some, words of praise, you want to, share your own story, hit us up in the chat. Let us know. All this will be captured in our video here today. So thank you guys for joining us on our YouTube live channel. What? All right.
YouTubers.
All right, Sabrina. Here. Oh,
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. Sabrina right now, obviously, is fighting for the rest of her life. So she's not able to join us live, but we do have her live on the phone.
Old school.
We do
It's
have
like
her
an old
live
school radio show.
on the phone.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do have a little slideshow here that I'll just kind of rotate
Sorry about that.
and just put up here. We can just do it like this. All right, so Bink. All right, here we go. Sabrina.
Yeah.
Let me get over to my notes here again. I don't have to edit this stuff out, which is kind of nice. There's no editing anymore.
There's no editing.
No, there's going to be editing. All right.
You just got to talk your way through it now.
So we are 6 minutes in. Tell us, Sabrina, about young Sabrina. Where did she grow up? Did she have a good childhood? Was there good, fond memories of young Sabrina? What was she like? Where did all this start?
Well, I grew up in Turlock, where I'm at now, actually. Not the house, but close by to where I grew up. I lived in the same house for 26 years on Syracuse. I had a pretty good childhood, like on paper.
Yeah.
I think they looked really good on paper. We did a lot of family stuff together. Like, we were really good about family vacations every year, camping. My dad took us fishing. We did all kinds of stuff as a kid. It's just, there was not a lot of togetherness, like outside of that, like not a lot of love. Like, our family didn't know how to show each other love,
Right.
anything like that. There was a lot of that kind of thing going on, but we looked good on paper. I mean, I was a pretty good child, I guess. I was a little bit hyperactive. My parents put me in gymnastics at an early age, and I kind of thrived in that. I was really good. I was state champion, and led my team to winning like state championships. We had a lot of good gymnasts on our team, and I was pretty athletic. Really pretty athletic as a kid. Got into high school, kind of turned out a little rebellious. Started early on, like with the weed smoking, and didn't get into too much trouble until maybe after high school. That's when all the bad stuff started.
So, like, young Sabrina, run of the mill, kind of average household, like the rest of us, right? Kind of the outside, it looks different than the inside, right? As far as that kind of stuff goes. Teenage Sabrina, where did you go to school out here in Turlock as well?
Went to Turlock High School.
Turlock High, all right.
Yeah, that's me with singing. So I used to play the guitar.
Okay, yeah, playing guitar.
My dad was a cop, so he was really strict, and so for me to do anything socially, I'd have to like ditch school and go do stuff with my friends.
Right.
When he caught me off campus, I was at lunch having one off campus. I was ditching, and he walked in his uniform, and he was happening to go and eat the same place where I was, and he busted me, took me back to the principal's office, turned me in, and I got suspended.
Wow.
I know.
Dang, he's not signing tickets off for you, is he? Narc.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. So teenage. Go ahead.
I had one brother. He passed. My sister. She's married, has a beautiful family. She did a really good job of raising her family. She didn't take after our family. She learned from that, and she has a really, really good, solid family. When they show each other love, and they're good.
Right. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Teenage Sabrina, kind of on the map a little bit with a little bit of weed smoking, a little bit of partying.
Yeah.
But there's a Sabrina from her 20s. What was she like?
Yeah, that's when, the very first time I ever did meth.
Yeah.
I was just got out of high school, and it was with a couple of friends from high school. We were going over to Mexico. They said they wanted to doing a pharmacy run. You know how everyone used to do a pharmacy run, buy their stuff over there because you could get better drugs over there in the pharmacy, and you can't bring them back. You can bring them back.
What year was this?
I don't even know. I was 18, so 93 probably.
Dang. So you're making border runs in the early 90s to get meth from the cartel.
I didn't start getting meth. At that time, I didn't know I was doing the meth run. They didn't tell me that's what it was for.
Right.
So we're going back over the border, and they were in the back seat, and they were arguing over this 7-Up bottle, and one of my friends was like, "No, you drink the 7-Up bottle. No, you drink it." And I'm like, "Just give me the bottle, I'll drink it." So I grabbed it and I drank it. I didn't know there was meth in it.
Yeah.
And they let me drink it, and that's the first time I did meth. And I was like up listening to Alice in Chains for like 3 days solid.
I'll drive.
I'll drive.
For 3 days straight.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, but years later, so I didn't know.
Okay, so you stayed up for a whole week one night the first time you did it.
but I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't put it together. I didn't figure it out until
Sure.
they told me later on, and after I had been using it, now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But the second time I used meth was I didn't know either. Someone spiked my drink. And then she told me that night that she spiked my drink, and then I started using from then on.
You're like, F it. It's not too bad. Okay.
So I had a choice, but I mean, it was really shitty the way I was introduced to it.
Yeah.
I shoved in my drink.
Yeah.
But then so this is when I would say in my 20s, definitely.
Right.
Because I got sober for the first time in 2001. But the first time I did drugs, the first time I did meth, I smoked it and did rails. I didn't do any intravenous things that came later.
Got it. Okay. Draw the line there.
I did at one time, but I never.
It was like a roofie intro to the meth world.
To drugs. Yeah. Here, just give you a little spike your drink there. Drinking the 7-Up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That used to be a funny thing to do.
That used to be but that's kind of fucked up.
It's not that cool.
Kind of fucked up.
It's not that cool.
It's not that cool anymore.
Hey, kids.
So you spend some of your 20s or a majority of your 20s, I think you said from the early 90s to 2001 was the first time you got clean. So you had a decent run, not a bad run. You get clean. What was happening for you that you felt you had to get clean? What was the big, was it a rock bottom? Did you tank at something? Did you get arrested? What was it?
I mean, I did get arrested, but it was for a DUI for under the influence of methamphetamine.
What?
Yeah. I got a DUI for under the influence of methamphetamine. The house that I was living at was actually a really hot spot, and the cops would watch it. And so they know I didn't have a driver's license. So I got into this really nice car. One of the guys who was the cook at the time had this really fancy sports car. I'm like, let me go for a drive in it. So I get in it. I go around to the next street over, and the cops just pull me over right there. And I didn't have a driver's license. And there was meth in the car. And there was someone with me that had meth and a pipe on them. And so they got me for being under the influence of methamphetamine. That was the first time I was arrested for it.
Boo.
Dang, you got a DUI and you weren't even able to sleep in the jail cell.
No. And they kept coming in and looking at me because I was Sergeant Howard's daughter. I pretended to sleep. I didn't sleep.
Right.
I had my head down had my head down. And I just covered my face, and they just kept coming in and looking at me and smirking. And I was Sergeant Howard's daughter right there with a DUI for methamphetamine use. But
all right.
I still kept using after that. That wasn't I don't know. The first time I stopped, I remember I was a cat person then. I'm a cat person now. I had my 3 cats at my house with me when I was at the house that was really hot, and everyone had just come over and mucked it out, and I lost power, I lost water, and I was just sitting there, and I had nothing, and people were coming actually in my house and taking out appliances and walking outside with a microwave and shit like that.
Wow.
And I had my cats, and I remember going to the motel for a few days with what money I had left, and then running out of money and sitting on the steps and crying and calling my mom, be like, I found no place for my cat. And so I ended up going home to Modesto, to where my mom was living, and tried to get clean there for off and on. She let me stay out in the trailer. And that was a time when online chat rooms was really popular. So I used Yahoo chat to keep me off drugs, and I kind of just stayed on that and got sober, and eventually stopped going places and just got my head into the chats and met some people online. That's where I met Lisa from New Zealand. That's where I met her when I was getting sober right around that time. And I started to share my story with her, became a really good friend with her. And that's where I also met baby daddy.
All right. Okay.
In a chat room, we ended up talking, and he came down and I conceived my child when I
came down and baby daddied.
Yeah,
very cool. All right.
I was 29. That was when I was 29. So I was sober then when I was 29.
Okay.
And that's when I met Lisa, probably around 28, 29. Yeah. And so that's when I had my daughter, her name now, the best moment of my life. Yeah, when I met you. Yeah. So I mean, she's a real friend. She's been there. And even though sometimes we go without talking, it's like friends you can just catch right back up with, you know?
Right.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay. Kind of a
So,
high point right there. Kind of okay.
yeah. And I don't know if she wants me to blow her dirty laundry. Is it okay if I say some stuff about your dirty laundry? Let's see what she says. I don't think she'll care because she's actually sober now too.
So what year was this? Chat rooms. This is like the late 90s.
This is after. Cause I remember it's after 9/11 because I remember the day I actually got sober clean was the day that the 9/11 happened. I woke up and I turned on the TV and I saw the plane go into the building and that's the day I got clean. I remember that's the day I got sober that day. So that it happened like after that. I was already sober. I think when
2001 then.
Yeah.
9/11 day I got sober.
Okay.
That was 2001, right?
Yeah. 01.
Yeah. She used to. Her and I used to get on cam and smoke the pipe and see who can make the biggest clouds.
Oh, turning my
Because how
stomach.
addicting the cloud. The cloud was more addicting than the drug for me.
I hear you.
How big?
I get that. It was definitely part of the fun part.
Yeah, that's how it was. So
okay.
We used to do that. So we met and like that, and then she got clean too, and she's doing really good now. She also quit smoking, which was really good too.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a bear.
But Ray. Too.
So how long did you like use for, and what was like some of the biggest damage you've taken, and what was it like when you finally said enough is too much and tapped out?
The last time, the first time I just was tired of it. I got tired of the scene. I got tired of the people. I got tired of the lies, the stealing, the crowd that I came with. I just didn't want to be around that anymore. The first time when I got sober, so I just said I'm out of here. So then I decided to have a kid. I said, why not? I never thought I would get married. So I'm like, why don't I just have a kid? So I had my kid and she has been a blessing. She has been, even though I haven't been a good mom to her all the time. There's a lot of the years when I got back and started using again where I wasn't a good mom. She'll be able to tell you more. She knows the exact dates, but I think when she was young on all the way up to until she was about like 8 or 9, I was with her. And then when my brother died, I think in 2014 is when I went off the deep bender again. I went off a bender and started using, and then I, was really bad again, and then not doing very nice things and saying nice things to my family. So they basically disowned me. It was a real hot mess. We started to do intravenous drugs and experiment with smoking heroin, and I even shot coke a few times. So I was just doing Molly and doing whatever I can get my hands on. And that lasted until 2018. So I did another 4-year run. And what made me stop the second time is because I was in this abusive relationship, and it was a real dark time, and I almost lost my life a couple times.
Right.
He would put his hands on me, choke me out to where I was almost unconscious, and emotionally abused me, verbally abused me, and I remember on December 21st, 2017, I think it was. That's when I first got sober. I think it was 2017, not 2018. 2017, we had this big fight, and he choked me out, and I was bleeding out both my nose, and I almost passed out, and we got in this huge fight, and I just said it was enough, and so I just shut it off, and I laid there in the dark in my room for like 10 days in the dark. I remember I had this huge abscess under my armpit because I would have been shooting in a vein under my arm because I couldn't find any more veins on on my body to shoot, and I was so sick, and I was just in so much pain, and I just laid there for 10 days, and then I called Women's Haven, and they took me in, and from there I traveled through California and out of state through DV shelters, domestic violence shelters, to get out of California. I like traveled different ones. I advocated for myself, would call them, tell them my story, and they would pay for my ticket. I wouldn't have to fork out any cash. I'd get to another shelter. I'd stay there a couple weeks or a month. I would call another one and go to. I ended up in Washington.
Damn.
And I stayed there for a while, and a church was helping me out and paying for my motel room and stuff. And I managed to stay sober this whole time. And then I remember, it's been like 6 or 8 months I've been out here doing all this stuff and staying away from California. And I thought, okay, well, maybe my family will let me come home now. So I called my mom, and I just remembered that they were talking about going to Disneyland. They're just getting ready to go to Disneyland, and that when they came back, they said that I can come back and they pick me up and I can come home and, try to work things out. And that's where I've been. Before I went to the DV shelter, I went to Garden Gate Respite first.
Okay.
And after I met Janine, and Janine was like, heard me advocate for myself with all these places. And she said, if you ever want to come back and work here, I'll definitely hire you.
Yes, 100%.
So when I got sober and was
Shout
sober
out to Janine.
I called me back about the job right back. I got a job right there, and I was just there, and I just loved that job. I loved it. I loved that job. I love helping people.
Right.
I was really good. I thought I did well at my job.
You did pretty well.
I'm really bummed that I'm not there anymore.
Which brings us to, you can tell us why you're not there anymore. So, what was happening for you? You're clean. You have this job. You have a really good job. And in fact, that's where I met you.
You were my favorite boss I've ever had.
Thank you. What was happening? What were the early tell us about when you didn't know, looking back, right? And then kind of bring us into like some things you're feeling, some symptoms or whatever, and then kind of walk us into how you found out you were diagnosed the first time, because this is round 3, correct?
Yeah, this is the third time it's come back. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What was it like the first time? What was going on?
I was having pains. Like, I remember I took off work that night, or either I left work early to go to the hospital, or I took off because I wasn't feeling good. But I was having a lot of pain in my lower abdominal area, and I was feeling really bloated and really like I could eat anything, but I was always full. So I didn't expect to get the diagnosis I got, but I went in and they did a CT scan, and I remember waiting, and then the doctor ends up taking me back to the little room, and then it's always good when they take you back to the little room. I've never had that happen before, but so he takes me back to the little room, and he didn't really know what he was talking about, but he knew that I had cancer. But the way he told me that I had it in way more places than I did at the time. So it really freaked me out even more than it should have. But he said I had it in my kidney, and they found a size of a grapefruit in my uterus, not in my ovaries. And he also said I had it somewhere else. I can't remember what he said. Then I tried to call my mom and tell her, and I was really hysterical. And then I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And then I called you. You were the first person that I could get hold of to tell that, I was just freaking out, and I was crying, and I just didn't know, what to do. And so I told you I had cancer, and you were really good about it. You were trying to make, light of the situation, because, I liked cats. So you were telling me maybe it was just some kitty litter they found in there, and maybe it's not cancer. Let's just wait and see what happens. And you were just trying to make me feel better. I really appreciate that. But it took a minute for it to hit in. Like, after he left the room, I sat there and I was just quiet for like 3 minutes, and I just started bawling. And then I just tried to call my family, and I just couldn't reach anybody.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I just wanted to call you for some reason. I don't know.
I appreciate that. I was cool with that phone call. I didn't know what to say.
I know.
Lord, you weren't calling out sick.
I'm my boss. I'm like, I've got cancer.
I do.
Yeah, it's part of being a good boss.
I remember that. No, I do. That was a hard conversation. I remember that. So you get this news delivered. Huh? Go ahead.
I'm sorry I put that on you, but I just didn't know who to
That's- I'm good.
know.
No apologies. No apologies at all, man. We're good. We'll move forward. We're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So you get this information delivered pretty horribly. It wasn't. I mean, there's could have been a better way, I guess. There's no easy way, whatever. But you have this information and you're feeling this. What kind of goes on from there? Was there some level of like acceptance? Was there like a level of like disbelief, but I'm going to beat this? I mean, what was the mindset for the first time?
I just think I doomed myself in the very beginning because I always said to people, I'm going to get cancer. I'm going to die of cancer. I'm never going to get married. I always like put this crap out in the future and then it ended up happening. So I wasn't shocked that I had cancer because cancer runs so much in my family. It's ridiculous. My dad died of cancer. My sister has had breast cancer. My mom had stomach cancer.
Oh,
I've had brain cancer, leg cancer. We've had every kind of cancer there is imaginable.
Damn.
So, I mean, I knew I was, even though they did the testing, it wasn't genetic. I just knew that for some reason, I was going to get cancer one day. I put it out there and I jinxed myself. So that's that. So I was, after I got the diagnosis, I went and was referred to a specialist at UCSF, and he did further testings. And when we found out exactly what's going on, I had a stage 3 uterine cancer and stage 1 ovarian cancer. So I had 2 different kinds of cancer. So it was in my ovaries and my uterus. And that's when we decided to do surgery the first time.
Right.
And he went in, and me and my daughter went to UCSF, and she stayed with me there while I went through surgery. And it was a really rough surgery. I actually almost lost my life. I remember she was in the room waiting for me to come back, and then he had to end up calling her, asking for medical advice because she was the only one there. And he asked her if we could get me blood because I had started bleeding out because it's very vascular, I guess, where he was going. And so she said yes. And so he gave me a couple blood transfusions, and I made it through there. But he said he thought he got most of it, and we needed chemo. And I was very positive about my, recovery.
Right.
And I did chemo for 6 months. My counts went down. Everything shrank, and I thought I was good. And then I was off chemo, and for about 4 months after finishing chemo, my first round of chemo, it came back on my omentum, or what is that word? It's the lining on your stomach. It's like everyone has like this fatty lining on their stomach. It came back. So that's where ovarian cancer likes to come back. It likes to come back right there. So, so my CA-125, which is a test, they test your blood for cancer, ovarian cancer, and some other kind of cancers. And my level started going up again. They're supposed to be under 34.
Yeah.
So was that started to go like from 40, and then went up to like 100, and then 300, and it kept going up. So we did another scan, and so it started to come back there. So he's like, don't worry, we're going to try to do another treatment or a different kind of chemo that's called the Red Dragon. And the Red Dragon is like the real strong kind. It's the red kind. And he mixed it with something else called Avastin. And I was doing well for probably a year on I'd say like a year, maybe a little less. The Avastin was keeping it away. I wasn't doing as much chemo. I was doing the Avastin as kind of like a maintenance.
Right.
So it was keeping it away. But then I got diverticulitis from the Avastin. It's like a side effect.
Right.
So then I had operation in my bowel, and I had to go into the hospital, and they were going to do surgery and stuff if it didn't go away. But luckily it went away. And so I can never do the Avastin again. So now it came back the second time, and we know Avastin is working, and we can't use it anymore. So I go back to a regular chemo, and it gets better for a little bit, and then I go off the chemo, and now the third time.
So was there any gap, any reprieve, any rest, any silver lining between the second and third round? Were you finished with the second one?
I was finished. Chemo did a number on me. I've been in bed I've been in bed since I got diagnosed.
Yeah.
I've been pretty much bedridden. Chemo it gave me awful body aches. Like I had so much pain. I could barely walk. I could It like did something, a number on my joints. I out of breath. I could barely shower. I'm like gasping for air. I have like no, like I'm just like no energy. So
Right.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I I've been watching Netflix for 3 years. I mean,
Right.
every while I'll go to dinner with friends or something like that, but I'm not I'm not doing too much these days. I had a rest from chemo through there through those times, like a couple months at a time, like
Right.
3, 4 months or something.
Yeah.
But I never really felt better. I felt a little bit better, but not like, oh wow, let's go run a marathon better. Never felt good. I haven't felt well in a while.
Yeah. You felt
I haven't
less
felt
than bad. You've had good days, but not a great day.
right.
Okay.
So
So,
it took a lot.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just took a lot out. Chemo took a lot out of me. I mean, it took a lot out of me. My sister, when she went through it, she didn't have quite. She was able to keep working. There was no way I could keep working. She was
Yeah.
able to do a job and stuff like that. The way it hit me, there's no way I could have. And I thought I was going to come back. I was even trying to apply. I even did apply um, was it Euro job?
Might have
Was it
been.
your one that Chaz got, right?
Yeah.
That's Euro job. Yeah, I was trying to apply for that, and I remember I even did it. I did a Yeah, I remember, and I saying I'm going to be back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I get back.
So I remember clearly, that phone call and you having to go out on leave. And then I remember the end of the first round, there was a conversation between you and I. Okay, so if I can finish my chemo in this month, I could be clear in 60 days, which puts me, I think it was like October or something like that. And you were like trying to come back to work and you were still hooked up to machines and, half a robot. You know what I mean? I had this picture that, you're still like this bionic woman kind of behind the scenes. You're like, I can come back to work. I can come back to work. But then round 2 hit.
Yeah.
Just before, I remember they kind of overlapped. And I remember having some communication with you, in the months afterwards. But then there was a gap. And then you sent me a text not that long ago, kind of bringing me up to speed on this third round.
Yeah.
How did you find out about this third round? How were you delivered the big news? And
It was the worst symptoms yet, and
tell me.
I feel bloated again, really bad, and not pain, but there was pressure in my chest, and I was coughing, and I could barely. I would gasp. I mean, literally gasp for air when I would get up and do something.
Yeah.
My mom was really worried about me. She's like, well, why don't you go to the ER? I'm like, it's probably just a cold. I'm like, well, it's just a cold. I'm okay. But I ended up going to the ER on December 23rd, and they took 1,300 cc's out of my pleural cavity. Over 1,300 cc's. That's like 3 pounds of fluid they took out of my pleural cavity, the space between your lungs and the pleural lining. And it was just like solid blood, and they're like, it doesn't look good, and once that happens, if there's cancer in those cells in that fluid, then that's stage 4, and then it's really nothing you can do after that. That's like, just
and that's once it gets in there, then it's just rooted
and
everywhere.
I rabbit hole online looking up stuff about pleural effusion, and just nothing good, and it just freaked me out. I started having this major anxieties, and it's like it says you have 3 months to live on some sites, and then it says you have 12 months to live on others, and then on another site it said people with pleural effusion and ovarian cancer live the longest. They usually live 2 years. I mean, I kept going down all these things and reading all these things and just psyching myself out and making myself miserable. And I just had to stop going on Google,
right?
Because I mean, myself.
I hear you.
So Google is not your friend.
It's not a doctor. Yeah, I get it.
Is not my friend right now, and I try to stay away from it. Even though I did Google something the other night, I'm trying to stay away from Google. So I ended up going to my doctor here in Turlock, which I'm going to say his name, Dr. L. Daly. I love him.
Yeah.
And he gave me a little bit of a more positive outlook. And because I was talking about like going on hospice and thinking like, okay, I need to go on hospice and stuff. And and this is it. And like, I don't even know how many, if I'm going to be here next month. And I was totally stressed out. And so he said, no, he's like, don't, he's like, let's try some other things. There's still a couple things we can try. No need for you to go on hospice. Don't listen to anybody telling you to go on hospice. He's like, let's try a couple things before we do this. So I went back to see my doctor at UCSF, and we talked, and I was like, well, is there any hope? Is this curable? He's like, I just want you to know that this is not curable. This is terminal. This is end of life. And I go, well, how long do I have left? Do I have at least a year? And he goes, you have at least a year, maybe 2. That's what he told me.
At least a year, maybe 2.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and where were you? Where were you guys? Or is like this is the doctor's office? This over the phone? Where? I mean,
I did an office. I didn't do offices. I did it. I was here at home. It was a video chat with him.
Okay.
And after the stuff I read online, I knew I didn't have much time left.
Sure.
So that wasn't surprising, and I just needed to confirm it. And even though the doctors say 1 to 2 years, I don't know. Maybe I'll get 5. Who knows? Maybe I'll get 5 months. I don't know. I don't. But to tell you the truth, right now, today and like the last couple of weeks, it's the best I've felt since I've had cancer. I'm serious. Like, I've been feeling really, really, really good except for being out of breath.
Right.
Like, I'm not having body pains from chemo, and that's amazing. I'm not having. Only thing I'm having is the out of breath and stuff, and I need oxygen. And I have oxygen here, but I'm actually feeling my pain medication. I haven't even had to really take it this month because I've been really good on my pain level, which is really nice change.
That's good.
Is there any is that thing still happening with your lungs? Do you have to go in for?
Yeah. Hi, Monica. I've seen you just show up. Hey, George. I didn't mean to. I've just been talking a lot. And those pictures that you're seeing of the cowboy hats when I was riding the horse. I used to ride horses, and me and Monica actually share that. She's my best friend. We went to high school together. George and I went to high school together too. So we've known each other 30 years. Monica, we've known each other 30 years plus. And there's my daughter. She just jumped on there too, Melodia. But those dusty road pictures, yeah, that was back when I was doing cattle runs and riding horses, and I love those days. Those were from fun days. I used to show. I had 2 horses.
Yeah,
that was a really good time in my life.
That's awesome.
But back to the bad time. I'm actually feeling good right now with no pain.
Okay.
Barely have pain right now. I do have the fluid in my lungs still, and I will be draining that as needed. It's a really, really weird feeling to have that drained, and you have to be awake for that.
Yeah.
That just feels weird.
You can feel it like you can feel the pressure release or something. You can feel it like you're feeling a part of your body you're not supposed to feel, right?
No, it's not. It's just okay. This is what I was trying. I was talking to Julia the other night on the phone. I was telling her when I was
Julia.
When I was in the doctor's office getting ready to have this catheter shoved in the back of my chest, that I was looking at my phone and trying to watch kittens on TikTok to keep my mind off it, like cute little kittens. It just didn't work. I just like, as soon as he stuck that thing in there, and I'm like, oh my God, this is how it's supposed to feel. I'm like, are you sure it's supposed to feel like this?
Oh no, I didn't think about that.
He just kept pushing it in, and it just kept feeling weirder, and it hurt, and it just pressure in my chest, and then all of a sudden it was over, and we just sat there for about 45 minutes and let it drain into this big old bag, and I call it my blood baby. It was like this big bag of blood.
Send me a picture.
You want a picture? I'll send it to you right now.
No, you sent it already.
Oh, I sent you
We'll put that on the screen.
Well, we're live right now. Send it to the phone that I'm talking to you on.
Okay.
And I'll just show it to the camera if I can.
This is my blood baby. But after I saw that, I can't believe that came out of my body. It's like really hit. Like, I'm really sick.
Yeah.
I'm really sick. And after that came out, I was in the hospital for 3 days on IV pain meds because that hurt after it came out. It hurt my body. Like, I was having, like, it hurt to breathe for at least 3 days.
Yeah, I believe that.
You're not supposed to have tubes put in those types of places.
I sent it to you. Yeah, and then
Oh, that looks like that looks like the size of the bag of blood they put in you. I don't know if you guys can see that. If the glare on my phone or
those are bigger than the bags of blood that they put in you. Way bigger. Those are 1,300 cc's. It weighs 2.87 pounds. So that's 2.87 pounds of blood right there.
Is that easier to see? There, I turned the brightness down. If you guys can see that.
I looked it up on Google to see how many pounds I lost.
How much does blood weigh?
Yeah, how much does 1,300 cc's weigh? And Google told me 2.87 pounds.
Damn. That's a lot. That's heavy. It's heavy blood, man. All right, so round 1 didn't take you out. Round 2 didn't take you out. Round 3 says, hey, look, man, we're in your lungs. We're in that gap. We're in that space. The doctors tell you it's inoperable.
Well, I do have a little node in my lung, too. So I have the pleural effusion with the cancer cells, which could be from the cancer that's in my lung now or from the cancer that's just somewhere else in my body metastasizing. They don't know. Even though I did another scan, it shows that I have a little nodule in my lung, and it shows that I have it on the omentum again, the lining again. It likes to come back. That's the third time it's coming back on the lining. And now I have a 9 millimeter nodule on my lung, which is small, and hoping chemo can knock that out. But so, what did you what were you saying? I'm sorry, I totally lost, brain farted.
It's okay. I was just talking to you. Just kind of summarizing, bringing it up to speed, and just kind of, just sharing this moment. We have in the chat, if you can see it, Rooted Warriors podcast, some friends of ours. Greg's wife's podcast and sisters. Some really good friends of ours. Rooted Warriors podcast. Give those guys a shout out if you guys want to listen to a pretty good show. Check those guys out. I said, hi, Sabrina, if you can read it, Sabrina. Hi, question. How can we as a community better support women who are fighting similar battles?
I think just listening helps. I think letting people talk about it and getting it out, and I think it's good therapy. I mean, it helps a lot.
So let me ask you that direct question. I'll be honest, growing up not until the last couple of years, it's been really taboo. It's been really awkward, and it's not comfortable to talk about death, especially if somebody had died or the family member of somebody who died. It's so weird. So are you telling us, as a person who has this, your time, it's comfortable to talk about? You want to talk about this, right?
I don't mind talking about it. I mean, I don't think it's really hit me yet because, like, I go through moments of sporadic feelings. Like sometimes, like I told you, like I have so much anxiety. It feels like my pressure in my chest is just like popping out, and I have medication for that and stuff. I mean, I take medication for anxiety as it is, but I have some stuff that helps me besides that. But then there's times where I'm like, right now, my mindset is like I'm not even trying to really think about it. I'm just trying to get better right now and eliminate the symptoms that I have right now so I can feel better, so I can do some things before I go. Like I said, one of the things I want to do a little bit of traveling. I want to come to terms. I want to come to peace with what's going on in my life. I'm definitely not at peace with dying. I mean, I'm definitely scared as hell. I cry. I mean, I don't want to die,
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
I want to be able to accept it. I want to be able to have peace with it. So I think like this trip that I'm trying to go to Bali, I think for some reason I just feel like I need to go. I need to go and experience the spiritual awakening. And, I know there's people there that specialize in stuff like this. And I just want to go and learn some things and just try to come to terms with it. So, that's what this whole thing is about. I want to be able to experience that before I want to go. I'm going to get to be able to spend some time with my daughter. She's going to be moving down here from New York. She lives in New York right now. She's going to be coming here on the 5th. She's going to take care of me, and I'm really grateful for that. And
cool.
Hopefully she will, I don't really want to put this burden on her, but she's going to stay down here until I pass, or if I get better, she can go back. I don't know. And it's going to be a really hard time for her, to have to come down and just wait for me to die, basically. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but I really appreciate her doing that for me.
Yeah. She's on here, Melania Howard, hoping it stays that way. Shout out to you, Melania, if you want to, chime in on this, on the text over there and kind of, maybe kind of let us know how it is for you and maybe what you've gone through, or kind of, a little blurb in there. We wouldn't mind hearing from you over there, Melania. So, shout out to you for taking on, the unthinkable. You know what I mean?
She's being real brave, and
yeah,
I'm sure she doesn't want to deal with this shit. Why would she want to deal with this? She's 22 years old. She doesn't want to deal with this crap.
sure.
No one wants to. But I don't have anybody else. She's my family. I talk to her every day. And even though she lives in New York, she gets tired of me. I've called her like 3 or 4 times today already.
Yeah. Right. I get it.
And we're always on the phone, and even though we didn't have a super close, like I wasn't super mom, we have a really good relationship now,
Right.
And I really appreciate her. But I want to be able to go with her to Bali, and I want to do it up, I want to really experience some pampering, and I want to, before I go, I want to, experience something out of this world, I just want to make it special, and I don't want to have a funeral. This is going to be basically my funeral, the trip,
right.
If I can get support to get out there, that's the support on me. And I think funerals to me are just crap. I mean, why do you go visit someone when they're dead already? I mean, go visit them when they're alive, help them when they're alive, do something for them when they're alive. I don't want no one coming to my funeral. I don't want to have a funeral.
Right.
How did you pick Bali?
Because it's known for a spiritual place. It's like a spiritual place. It's known for its spirituality. You don't think so?
Wait, I've never heard that about it.
Oh no,
I thought it was tropical and coconuts and.
No, it's like known for like Buddhism and spirituality. And like,
gotcha. Okay, yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm not a Buddha, but it's a very spiritual place.
So we got Ray chiming in. If you or Melania need someone to talk to or anything, please know that I'm here for the both of you. And she does the hard stuff.
I
Raven.
That.
Yep. Melania Howard, hi. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You're my mom. You're my mom, though, and I know you've done some things that you aren't proud of, but I love you, and I'll be there until the very end. Love you, Melania.
I appreciate that.
Love you.
I'm gonna try to make it funny until my last breath. I swear, I'm gonna be joking.
Right.
I will be. I told her that when I do pass, we're gonna test. We're gonna test out mediums. I go, well, you're gonna go see a medium, and if I give you the word bluebird, then that means I'm actually there in the room talking to you. I don't say bluebird.
Oh, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. That's neat. What a way to test
out some frauds.
Yeah. I'm like, if they don't know my name when I walk in, they're a fraud.
We're gonna test out some mediums. But I think that there are some real ones, but I think there are also some fake ones. So I told her if I say bluebird, then I'm there. If I don't say bluebird, then you need to get up and walk away.
Yeah. I kind of like that. It's kind of neat.
So I'm going to kind of keep it lighthearted too. I mean, I don't know how I die, and I'm scared it's going to be something to do with obviously my lungs and not being able to breathe. So it's going to be really, really hard and scary, but hopefully it won't be like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to go to Bali, you have a GoFundMe. It is on your Facebook page, and I've linked it through our social media, through our Gen X or We Adult Jet Facebook page. I'm also sharing it, and then I will add a link to that in this video. Once we're done, I can just go over and edit and add links to the description. And I will link also to your GoFundMe, and I hope and pray that you get to or somewhere close, somewhere tropical, somewhere spiritual.
If I don't make it to Bali, I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna do something. I mean, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah.
You know.
Stockton, maybe.
Yes.
Santa Cruz. At least go to Santa Cruz.
What's that? Weston Ranch, perhaps.
There's a beach at Santa Cruz.
There's a beach at Santa Cruz. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What do you want people to know about your situation, or about death and dying, or about? I think you kind of touched on it. I think maybe that's kind of what I'm hoping for is talk about it. Don't shy away. Please talk to me about it. I'm okay talking about it. It is so weird and taboo. Help us understand how helpful it is to talk about it, Sabrina.
Because it just it helps you come to terms with it's actually happening. I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you talk it in, it's going to happen. So it's going to help make you feel more comfortable. It's going to make reality stick there a little bit more, and it's going to help relieve some stress, some tension. I mean,
Sure.
there's questions I have about it. Like, I mean, lots of questions I want to ask. Like, before I die, I want to talk, even though I'm spiritual. I mean, was born and raised Catholic. I'm baptized Catholic, but I don't really actually believe in all the Catholic religion. I just think I'm more spiritual and I have a personal relationship with God. But
Right.
I talk to a priest before I die. I want to ask questions, and I want to be more educated on stuff, and it's another reason why I want to go to Bali, because there's different religions have different, you know, theories about death and dying and where you go, and I kind of just want to learn a bunch of stuff like that before, you know, and help me try to figure out actually what I want to do. Like, I want to be cremated. I don't want to be buried.
Right.
I don't know if I want to be spread somewhere out in the ocean. I don't know if I want to be a kind of tree. I don't know if I want to be sitting on I always tell my daughter I'll sit on her mantle. She can put me in an urn like I Dream of Jeannie, make sure there's cats inside of there with like a really fluffy bed, and
That's awesome.
and just like put cats in there and have it really be really cute in there. I'll sit on her mantle. I don't know what I want to do. I know I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be buried
Sure.
in a coffin.
Okay.
I don't want to be in a box. I'm claustrophobic as it is.
Right.
I don't want to be in a box.
Okay. Sometimes, I'll say this is true for me, and I know this is true for a lot of people. If we're talking to you or talking to somebody like a family member of somebody who just died, or if we're talking about death, a big concern is that I'm going to say something that's going to upset you or offend you.
Okay.
Just okay. Just say,
Yeah.
like, what if
Okay.
I'm sometimes I might be worried, like, if I'm going to say something about death, I'm going to like make you cry or make you
That's
feel
okay if I cry.
make you feel some
It's
kind of
okay.
way about something, right?
That's fine.
And
That's fine. Let me have the emotions I'm supposed to have. Let me feel what I'm supposed to feel. Just ask me what you want.
okay. All right. Why, just kind of in general.
Yeah, no, I don't like.
Kind
I
of
mean,
normalize talking about something that's so difficult to talk about, so taboo, right?
Yeah, we dance around
Yeah.
it, I think, as a culture.
yeah, I think because I'm feeling so good right now too, I'm not really stressing about it as much as I probably should be, or I have been before. When I'm in the symptoms pretty bad is when I get really stressed and really scared and
Yeah,
start
too much Google
going
do
down
that too, right?
hole. Yeah, start going down that hole. I've learned to do stuff to keep my mind off it. I've been making jewelry. I've been making these really pretty rosaries and jewelry. And I was thinking about when I go do my chemo, trying to sell them to help me also put money towards. I sell like $20 each for like a rosary. And they're really pretty. They're really beautiful, and like sell them to other people. Other patients that are in chemo with me, and see, because I know everyone's very supportive in the office and stuff like that. So jewelry takes my mind off it. Making jewelry takes my mind off of it extremely, like, because I'm not even thinking about my sickness when I'm making
Sure.
and creating stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've been doing that's been keeping my mind off of it. But other than that, I have my Klonopin and my Oxy and Netflix,
Right.
But
Okay.
I think about it, and it's scary. It's scary to not see my daughter, be here for my daughter to grow up, and she ever gets married, or see what she does with her life, and not to be around for those things, and
Yeah.
not to be around to see what I do next and stuff. I never thought I would be gone this early. I'm only 50.
Right.
Not old, but not so bad.
That old.
Um,
We're all the same age. That's what I'm saying. We're the same age. I get it.
yeah. I didn't expect to be gone. I didn't think I was going to be gone this soon, but you know what they say when you make plans, and what is that saying about God? He has other plans for you, so I guess he has other plans for me.
Right.
But I'm going to still fight. I'm not going to give up. I'm not saying I'm done. I'm keep trying to fight this as long as I can. I'm going to stay in treatment as long as it helps and benefits me, and keeps me alive. When they say I can't do treatment anymore, and then I'll stop. But until they're telling me I can't, then I'm going to keep going. So
I can't pretend to say, yeah, I hear you. I know what you. I
Yeah,
can't. I can't,
it.
Sabrina. And I just admire you. Bravery. I mean,
I don't feel brave. I feel like
I hear
tell you
you. I get
I like-
that. You know, you're not. I don't hear you like lashing out and blaming others or blaming God or hating something. You know what I mean? And just, I hear
I blame-
positivity.
I-
I hear acceptance. I
I
hear.
blame it in our country.
I get it.
Really
Fair enough.
and my lifestyle choices have not been that great either. So I mean, no one, well, no one knows what really causes cancer, but I mean, it's a multiple things. It's lifestyle choices, my drug choices, my health, my food choices, definitely. My genes are not very good. We have a bunch of stuff in our family, but we never know what causes it. But I'm not going to blame anybody or
Right.
anything or God. I don't think I'm being punished for anything.
Yeah. That's a pretty good attitude.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works either.
Yeah.
Fair.
It would be nice to know how it works. But then that's another thing. Maybe maybe when we pass, we find out all those answers. So
Yeah.
maybe that's something to look forward to if you have to look at. So maybe I'll figure everything out and I'll know all the answers, and you guys will still be here trying to figure it all out.
So there was a stand-up routine. It was one of the famous comedians talking about what happens when you die and when you go to heaven. You do get the answers to all those questions. You do get back all the socks you lost. You get back 22 pair, sets of keys that you've lost. You get, you know what I mean? It's a complete reset.
Socks.
Yeah. So that's how I understand it's going to happen.
I believe there's a heaven and a hell, and I don't think I'm going to hell, even though I've done some shitty things and committed a couple things. If I do go to hell, it's going to be bad, because I know what my hell would be if I went to hell. My hell would be drowning over and over for an eternity. And I think that would be the worst hell ever.
Yeah.
And I know that if I did go to hell, and I think that's my worst hell, that would be my worst hell. So if I ended up in that hell, that would be really bad.
I hear you.
But I don't think that I'm going there. I think that I'm going to be someplace else rather than hell. But pretty scary hell to think about, isn't it?
It is. I never thought about actually eternity in something you hate the most.
Yeah, drowning over and over again.
Yeah.
That would be the worst.
I would have to be buried alive in small caves for the rest of my life. Or
like over and over.
Having to crawl upside down in fucking caves that are big enough for my body almost.
You're too. Oh yeah, can you believe those people that go in those caves, those water caves?
I can't even watch those videos.
I can't watch them either. I cannot watch them. I get so stressed out.
Causes me anxiety.
I can't. I'm like, if you there's no help, you're dumb.
I can't watch it. I get stressed out. I get too much pressure in my chest, and I got to change the channel.
Or the guys that climb stuff up really high and climb the towers and do all that silly stuff with no gear.
Yeah.
Can't watch it.
Yeah.
Well, Sabrina, thank you very much for agreeing to, come on the show and tell your story, take questions. And yes, potato bugs.
Oh, those are the weirdest looking things.
Those are the weirdest. Fuck those things too. Yeah. So
we have those in our garden when we were a kid. The little potato bugs. I remember my dad used to catch those things, freaks it out with them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. You could rob my house with one of those. I've always said that.
Yeah.
We got Rooted Warriors. It's so clear that you were adored, and we love your answer. Allow a safe place to let others speak freely and just love.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You're a believer. God has special wings for you, my friend. Keep up the good fight. Thank you, Rooted Warriors. Shout out to you guys over there. If it's one of you, thank you. I know who you are. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Sabrina, is there anything you want to let the world know? Is there anything you want to close with? Is there something that's anything that from you that just kind of want
something you want to promote? Your book, your movie?
Yeah, my movie.
Your upcoming podcast?
My Lifetime movie, my Hallmark or Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
No, I just hope to be here as long as I can. And I'm gonna fight until the end, and that's it.
Okay.
I appreciate everyone listening to my story and taking the time out and supporting me, Lisa and George and my daughter and everyone that's in the chat. And Ray, I haven't talked to her in a long time. Everybody, I appreciate it. It makes me feel the love for sure.
And then Michelle Johnson, very brave. May your journey be filled with light and love. And
Thank
Rooted
you.
Warriors, hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. Tammy, hi, Sabrina. Thank you for sharing your story. I admire your strength and your positive attitude. Keep up the good fight.
Thank you. I plan to for as long as I can.
That's good.
I think that my morale is going to come up like here when my daughter gets here. I think that is going to help me and my attitude. And she has a friend that comes down to cheer me up. He's like my adopted son.
Yeah.
His name is Brad, and he makes me laugh more than I've ever laughed in my whole life. Last time he came down, I couldn't even breathe. I was like I was gasping for air, like I was when my symptoms for my stuff in my chest. I just laugh so much when he's here. So he's going to come down and visit us, and
Love that.
we're gonna have a good time. That's going to help me out a lot.
Excellent. All right, Sabrina, thank you so much for coming on the show again. This isn't just like, hey, thanks for being a guest. This is your life, and I appreciate you being so open and so comfortable about it, and just allowing the rest of us, kind of be in on that story. So thank you for that.
No problem.
That's going to do it. What? Go. Say.
I was talking to my daughter. She said that we call it Sun Buddies. That's our name of us three when we get together.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you having me on your show and letting me tell my story and getting my GoFundMe out there a little.
We'll promote it. We'll put it out there.
Yeah.
We'll hopefully get as many people to see it as possible. So that's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Sabrina, once again, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it. All of our viewers, we had a handful of viewers. We had like 28 views already during the show, and then we had a constant 11 or 12 folks that watched the whole show with us. So you know what? Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I
guys.
greatly appreciate all 11 or 12. All of you.
Tens of you.
All of you guys that watched our first show. Well, thank you guys. We love that show. We greatly appreciate that.
Well,
And
I am flattered for so.
And Sabrina, thank you again. Much love to you. And I will be in touch with you. I'm still around. So we'll still talk here and there. So that's going to do it for us tonight, folks. My name is Jason.
And I'm Greg.
Peace out, everybody.
Hey.
Don't hang up, Sabrina.
Don't hang up.
Don't hang up. Got to play an outro.
I'm going to do fade to black. Oh, I have a button that says fade to black. I want to see what that does. Ready? In 300 milliseconds.
Plays Metallica.
Melania, thank you for giving my mother a voice and for her to share her story. It means a lot to both. You're very, very welcome.
Very welcome. Fade to black.
Boom, fade to black. And we're back.
You can hear us?
We're back. Fade to black.